Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM22 Dragons episode 32. Race Director goes on by as I've left the breakaway behind with just over 2 minutes. They had no chance of making it, and Kang had expended too much energy in the break to really be in position to contend. And due to that, I figured he would be much better off dropping back to the field and recovering the energy, especially with this little bit of a descent before we go into today's climb. Now, today's climb, what it is, Mount Nebo, we are in Utah. We're in the U.S. for this one. It's the Tour of Utah. It's a 2HC level race, so we can get something out of this potentially as Kang goes into recovery mode. Let's put him up behind somebody like Gunai. The field that we have for this one, I'm not necessarily looking at the overall, though the overall could be something that we play into today, but realistically, I'm looking to see if we can't grab a stage win within this race as we prepare for the climb. I do have a climbing team present, but for whatever reason, I didn't look into the details of it, but every last rider that we have at this race, at least for the first day of it, which it's not the first day of it, it's already stage 3, low motivation, too much racing, not enough racing, fatigue. We're at a point in the season. I was planning on getting water before the climb. I was going to do that as soon as I started. Failed to do so, and now we are on a bit of a shortage of water as we go 14K to go on this climb. And suddenly the front 5 without Kang has actually pulled out a little bit more of a distance. You know what? We are going to switch you to protect and Hamad to follow, as Kang is already pretty tired. Like I said, he's found himself in a position of just not being effective for the day, and it's 10K to go, and I think this is the territory where I want to put the field under pressure. I have climbers, I might as well do something. So Kang's going to go first. We'll get somebody like Hamad behind him. Locke's going to -4, but he's a really good climber otherwise, so we'll put him here. And then I think Gunai might have been the weakest of the guys with the good race day condition. And then Alpasov, strongest, but a 77 stamina, 81. So Alpasov is the leader, even though he's on a 0. Alright, 99 is not necessarily what we want, but I want to get you out front very quickly, setting tempo and putting the field under pressure, getting us in this line. Hamad should be the one just behind you, and Hamad's getting blocked off at the moment. Taraskin can help open that up. There you go. And that is Kang out of energy. On to Hamad, who's still struggling to get through. Past Win. And he's in there catching the KOM leader, who is not going to collect any KOM points today. Kang already dropped. That's how quickly we have dropped. We have we have created separation. Look at that. 6 riders, our 6 riders, with 7K to go. We're going to go 99 here and up that tempo, open that gap, and push on because we're about to crest here. Hamad's going to get just a quick little respite and then be able to push on again. So 36 seconds ahead. This is looking good. This is looking very good. This is the kind of normal difficulty stuff that you see on a regular basis where you're able to really put pressure on the field, and that is Hamad done to the back of the group and on to Taraskin. Gonna crest over the next one, and we've nearly caught what's left of the breakaway, which is these front 4 riders. Taraskin, 99, pushing on. We dropped Hamad, he was not able to keep up. Locke and Taraskin both out of red bar, but we continue to close in on these guys, and we'll get Gunai and Yamato and Alpasov to go on once we get to the front of this group. 1.4K. So Taraskin, sit up. Locke, try to follow as you have just a little bit. Alpasov out of red bar, but Gunai pushes on along with Yamamoto, and descent-wise, we're looking pretty strong. We do need water here. But we've got gaps. Alpasov still trying to follow. Locke is still trying to follow, but he's almost out of energy, and these guys are done. Let's put these three on auto. Let's put Locke on auto. Let's stop dragging Hecht, but Hecht is from the break, so he's going to be quite tired. And Alpasov is going to try to chase those guys down. Now Yamamoto, who's following, can grab water real quick. Ganai's still leading this thing out. Not sure how Alpasov, there it goes, adjusting. Alpasov still trying to close back down on these two, but he doesn't have much left in the tank. Locke, meanwhile, is sitting on with Hecht. And we are pulling away, folks. We're a minute and a half up the road. All we have to do is get through this little bit of undulation right now. And then it's a long descent. Flat bottom. You're going to have plenty of recovery. And Ganai is tired. On to Yamamoto then. Alpasov's also out of energy. So Yamamoto, let's go. Make sure we take the win. Looks like it's going to be Yamamoto's day. Can we hang on for a 1-2-3 as the peloton is now closing in? Yamamoto does not need to attack anymore, but he does need to continue forward. And he's got a pretty healthy advantage. This is the last of the climbs. It's going to be all descent from here. There's a slight uphill. Slight false flat there for a moment. How is Ganai closing in? Yamamoto, what's going on, buddy? Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Oh, he's a great descender, too. Ganai. Alpasov has been caught by the field. Locke and Terraskin were dropped by the field. So we're down to two guys. And how? How they are chasing, I don't know. Yamamoto, let's go. Get a little acceleration to start your descent. Once we get into the tuck stage, we're down to 25 seconds on the advantage. I don't know how they're closing me down when this is, you know, well, he's got a 70 flat. I guess we're technically on the flat right now. Sprint is done. Gel up. Ganai. Alpasov getting water. He was in that no man's zone. 16 in the peloton. Come on. Come on, Yamamoto. 80 on the descent. And they are catching you, and you're going 99. How? How? With an 80 downhill, how are you getting caught? Come on. Let's go. Keep riding. Keep riding. 10-second advantage. Barely ahead of him. I mean, we're talking about bike lengths. He's been caught. That is insane. Yamamoto with an 80 downhill can't keep a gap. No way are we letting those guys recover. Terraskin caught up. That's the thing too. Groups behind caught up. How Yamamoto is not keeping a gap on these guys, I do not understand. Terraskin is going to go forward at a full 99, and then we're going to catch Ganai as we go through. Yamamoto, I'm going to just let him to continue to do his thing. How they were able to catch. How they didn't all crash. I mean, you got a guy running full 99 and a very good descender. Not progress. Not hold a gap. Alpasov. Still can't even get a hole ahead of him. And Yamamoto's been caught once again, but I'm going to keep him pushing on. Alpasov, go ahead and jump in the line here. And sprint Terraskin. It's 6K, but there's a lot of downhill. Okay. Now we have Alpasov, Ganai, or Yamamoto. Alpasov's the weak one, right? Yes. Switch the order on those guys. Let Terraskin lead this thing out. He doesn't have enough energy to actually lead this thing out, so we'll put the others. Locke is all alone behind. Terraskin's out of energy, so on to Alpasov. 3.7K, a little late for the gel, but that's okay. Soft sprint for now. $2K. Full sprint now. 1.4. And a right-hander coming up. Come on. We should have won this stage, hands down. How Yamamoto does not win this thing by a minute is beyond me. We're not even going to crack the top 3. That is the most disappointing result I have ever had, because we were over a minute ahead, and we have a guy with an 80 downhill rating going at a full 99. And they catch him. And have plenty of energy at the end to out-sprint us. How in the world? 4th, 6th, 8th, 37th. A number of riders are split off and are going to lose time. There were already punchy stages, so there was time losses. We had incurred time losses through those quick sims. So we're in a good position in the GC with a lot of riders thinning out from what was the front group. But no time gains. And Yamamoto needs to be taken out back and punished severely for being unable to hold a minute gap with that kind of energy. I understand the other guys getting caught. They had no energy. That part was inevitable, but for Yamamoto to have plenty of energy and not be able to hold a 1 minute gap on a 99 effort with an 80 downhill, I would have been disappointed if he was caught with a 70 downhill. On to the next, I suppose. Stage 6 now, and we're still very much in contention, but we're on the edge of the top 10. But times are very close, so a stage like this, a mountain stage, can really alter those times quickly. And unlike the last one that finished on a descent at an 80 downhill was not enough to maintain a gap on, we're finishing on top of Snowbird. It's, straight up to the finish line. And that does change things. Absolutely does change things. And outside of Yamamoto, who failed in his descent last time to hang on to what should have been a stage win, today he's the one who's down on race day condition, looking a bit poor, and could be a lot better than he is. The rest of the team is actually looking a lot better. We got 2 +5s and +2, +1. Alpasov, kind of the overall favorite leader, best position time-wise. Another +1 for him, but with a 79 base, it gives him a good rating, as Yamamoto is beginning to fade and is definitely the first guy and has now lost contact. So Yamamoto is out the back. We've got 59 left, and you can see there's a number of guys that are starting to struggle. Locke has faded a bit. He's lost protection. That's okay. No. He has not lost protection. Yamamoto was protecting somebody. It's Alpasov. There we go. So Locke will take over that role. And Gel. And Hamad's already fading. 61 in the peloton. So that number has actually increased from what it was. I think we pulled back some breakaway riders. But big group with Hamad just broke off. We're down to 49 now. And the guys are at the tail end of this a little bit. So bump that up, recover that position, and move back towards the front end as we go into the final phase of this 3-phase climb, where you climb, descend, and then climb one final bit. So we improve that position, work our way back forward. Locke and Terraskin look like they're going to fade before the end of this climb. We're going to see this group of 49 thin out a little bit more, with another group getting dropped here from the looks of it. And there you go. And it continues to thin out. It's down to 33. Alpasov, furthest back, will up his effort a little bit more. 26 riders now. Approaching the top with a small group. And the breakaway doesn't look like it stands much of a chance today. They didn't have a significant gap to begin with, and Alpasov, as the furthest one back, is going to go ahead and get the water, even though he is my leader. just because of position. And all three of them are going to recover a good amount on this descent. A lot of snow here, but as we come out of the snow level, again, it's 22 riders. And as long as that gap up front doesn't increase more than a handful of seconds, we are fine not contributing at all and letting all three guys recover a bit as we prepare for the final climb. And there you go, recovery is on. Gap is less than a minute, so we are actually pulling those guys back. Last 4 from the breakaway, originally of 14. We've had one rider regain contact. Terraskin, how far back are you, buddy? You are in group A3, which is the largest group. And in group A4 is Locke. So the two larger groups that are behind, if they were to regain contact, they would include a couple of our guys. A few random, just 5 riders, otherwise in A1 and A2. And I do have you guys on auto, don't I? Should get yourself some water. You know, might be useful. Alright, approaching the base, 28 seconds, so the front group is not getting away, so the pace is fine. And we are looking at a leader of Garzone. He's got an 80 mountain for the base. That means he's got an 84 that we are trying to overcome. Alpasov with an 81, Ganai with an 82, and Kang with an 81. Both of those guys are a little bit stronger than Alpasov, but Kang down on time. Ganai, yeah, minute 14. What is Alpasov's time? 51 seconds. So 25 seconds separate them. There's a chance that maybe we ride for Ganai instead of Alpasov, but we have another stage coming. Our expected today was a +4 as a team, and we definitely scored quite a bit higher than that. I mean, what, there's a -5 in those bottom 3 guys. There's a +5 to counter that, so there's +8 overall net as a team, which means we have a +4 draw on the day. Can't count for much better than that on the next stage. We've caught the front guys, so now it's 25. The riders behind, nothing really happening with them. In fact, we dropped a rider already here as we're hitting the base of the climb. Snowbird is 12K, 7.5%, 2,500 meters worth of climbing, and we are definitely not full strength, which is a bit of a surprise, which means let's see, Kang was the furthest down overall. Let's go ahead and protect Alpasov. And Ganai, follow.
The riders are entering the last 10 kilometers of the stage.
9.8K to go. I have 3 riders. As long as the pace is nice and firm, I will continue to use one rider to protect the others. That being Kang for now, setting the other guys up, and that's mostly about time, as he's the one who is just down on time overall. 21 riders left in the group. Definitely still some pace, still some tempo. 20 riders now, 6.6K. And all 3 guys are pretty tired. Gunai seems to be actually the best chance we've got at doing something here. Kang is going to fade here pretty soon. I think I'm going to end up swapping this. Whoa, hello. Garzone and Asparin. Top 2 on the attack. 5K though, that is a long ways to go for 3 riders. On the attack, that's not a chase, that was an attempted attack. He's already changed his mind. I think my objective of trying to win is in jeopardy here. Nigel. Kang's already been dropped. Down to 10. Vashek is here. Now he's just going to have to sit on. Hope these guys pull them back. Down to 8. Down to 6. Archibald dropped. We have Brennan. Hinsgal Madsen. Van Sevenant. Vashek. Rahales. And these two are the 2 guys, the 2 favorites with 80 mountain. 1K to go for Ganai, but only enough energy to make one last little push before the line. That's all he's got. 600 meters. He's only just hanging on here and out of energy, sprinting for the finish line. No stage win, but he will be in a good position in the GC. But we could not beat those two today. They were a little bit stronger than everybody else. 6th on the stage. Alpsov will also have a top 10. Oh, not quite a top 10. There's a guy over there in the shadows who I did not see. So Alpsov takes 11th. Kang's going to take 13th. Overall, that's a very good, strong position. We were not the favorites here, but I was certainly aiming to try to get a win, and we were so close on that previous stage. To see this one not materialize either, I think ultimately has to just add to that disappointment. What I was hoping for. Realistically, this is about where we could have expected to be. So I have one stage remaining, but coming up prior to that one is the San Sebastian race. So with San Sebastian, which is a World Tour classic, Uche Brooks, Martinez, Schachmann are the favorites for that one. We do not find ourselves in the top 10 list, but we're very much going to try to get whatever riders we can in there to succeed. But of course, the majority of our best climbers are all over at the Tour of Utah for this one, so there's not a lot of depth remaining to grab a result at San Sebastian. However, this is the kind of race that if you can climb and sprint, you can absolutely be a part of the end, because it's just a handful of punchy hills to get over, and if you could hang on and not get dropped, the sprint at the end is very much for the taking. So Uche Brooks, Martinez, Schachmann may not necessarily actually be favorites. But with those two things coming and not able to squeeze the Utah stage in prior, I'll have to put those two into our next episode. But we are finally back to regular content for the channel. Vacation is done. Taxes are done. Track season is now well underway, so schedule is hitting normalcy once again, and jet lag is all but finally resolved. It's been a week. Yeah, almost exactly a week now since I've been back, and boy, it took me 2 days when I got there. It's taken almost a full week. Maybe it's just the go of my normal schedule that has been a little bit harder to get my body back accustomed to, as opposed to the more laid back, relaxed on vacation that I seem to have adapted to quite quickly. Well, anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.